Hi, fam. Welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great day. I'm Joe,
I'm Dan.
and we're back with another reaction. It's another pitch meeting. Which one are we on this time, Dan?
We're on Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah, we are. Loved this movie growing up, so I'm going to be interested to see what plot holes could possibly exist here.
I can think of a couple things. Let's see if they do too.
Nonsense, but let's go find out anyway. Enjoy, fam.
So, you have a movie for me?
Yes, sir, I do. It's gonna be called Back to the Future.
Oh, okay. Not sure about that title. I'll try to come up with something else.
Okay,
It's
I
fine.
feel like that works though.
Well, we'll see. So, what happens in this thing?
Well, we're gonna meet this teenager, Marty McFly, and he's hanging out at his friend's house, this wacky old scientist guy, Dr. Emmett Brown.
Oh, and how did they become friends?
Somehow, I imagine.
Okay, I have no further questions.
Okay, thank God. So Doc Brown
I have
is real
questions.
wacky. He says "Great Scott" all the time.
Oh, Scott is tight.
Fantastic. So
Sure.
Marty's life is pretty crappy.
Something
Like his dad gets
wrong with
bullied
that.
by this guy named Biff. His mom is an alcoholic. His brother has a crappy job, and his sister can't find a boyfriend.
Yeah,
Sounds
And
like
then
a
one night,
regular
Doc
family to
took
me.
Marty to a
Yeah.
shopping mall parking lot
That's half
because he
America.
built a time machine out of a DeLorean.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, so we're gonna have this really fun scene where they engage in some casual, animal testing.
Oh, my God, what?
He puts his dog inside the DeLorean and sends him into the future, and you know what? He doesn't die.
Is Doc the bad guy?
Well, what would make you think he's the bad guy? So anyway, then the terrorists he's been dealing with show up.
You're sure he's not the bad guy?
Yeah, no. He ripped these guys off for some plutonium, so they murder him.
Oh, what is going
Jesus.
on?
Jeez.
Marty escapes
pretty
in
dark.
the DeLorean and accidentally goes back to 1955.
That's in the past.
It
No
certainly
shit.
is, sir.
Yeah.
So he's gonna run into his dad, George McFly.
Oh, that's interesting. An encounter with his dad in the past.
Yeah. And so pretty much immediately he finds out that his dad's a peeping Tom. Oh my God. And he saves
Yeah,
his
he
dad
is.
from getting hit
It's
by a car,
pervert,
but
yeah.
then he gets hit by a car.
Oh.
And so he's taken in by his mom Lorraine's family, and she is all over him when he wakes up. I mean, she really wants to sleep with him.
Oh, yeah.
What are you talking about?
See, the whole thing is that Marty's parents met after George was hit by that car, but now since Marty was hit by the car, Lorraine just wants to hook up with him. She's on a path to end up with him.
Right. Okay. I
Oh,
feel like
no.
I feel like that's pretty messed up for a movie.
Yes.
Because
it
the whole
is.
Movie, Lorraine's trying really hard to get into her son's pants.
I did not like that sentence.
Well, she doesn't know that it's her future son.
I don't see how that's going to be fun for anyone to watch.
I feel like everybody's gonna love it.
Well, if you say so.
Oddly
So
enough,
what
they
else
did.
happens?
Yeah.
Well, so Marty's gonna spend the movie trying to get his dad to hook up with his mom instead of him, because the future's getting all messed up now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he goes to see Doc in 1955, and Doc is like, "Uh-oh, Marty, this isn't good."
How can he tell?
Well, Marty has this photo with him from the future, and you can see his siblings starting to disappear from it bit by bit because they were never born.
So that exact photo at that exact time at that exact angle was still taken despite the wildly different circumstances?
That's what we're going with. Well, okay. So anyway,
Actually, that's a
Marty
fair
hatches a
point.
plan to get Lorraine to go to the dance with George instead of him and get them to fall in love.
How does he plan on doing that?
Sorry, sir, can I just
Just a minute, Larry. So what's the plan?
Well, he's gonna pretend to
What?
force himself on his own mother, and then his father's gonna come in and beat him off, and that's really gonna impress the mom,
him
and then
off,
she's
huh?
gonna want to hook up with him
Odd
instead
word
of her own
choice.
son.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
You sure?
Yeah.
You can stick around.
No, I insist.
Not sure what the guy's problem was.
So how does the plan play out? Oh, well, it turns out that bully Biff shows up, and he actually tries to force himself on Lorraine.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's really going at it. He's really trying to take advantage of this girl.
And you're sure this is a family movie?
I'm telling you.
No, not
It's
really.
going to be a classic.
Not
so
now.
then George really does save the day by standing up to Biff and punching him out.
Good for
wow,
you,
wow,
George.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, and then at that school dance, Marty's going to play Johnny Be Good by Chuck Berry.
Great song.
And it turns out Chuck Berry's cousin is there, so he calls Chuck and he's like, "Hey, you know that new sound you're looking for?" So Chuck Berry steals the song Johnny Be Good from over a phone.
He does,
From
yeah.
himself,
fun
yes.
little tidbit. But
Well,
if Marty
interesting.
hadn't performed it, Chuck Berry would have come up with it word for word just a couple of years later.
Right, but now in this timeline, Chuck Berry's a plagiarist, so it's fun.
Okay, I guess that's a fun moment.
So anyway, now that Marty's ensured that his parents are going to procreate, he has to go back to the
God.
future.
That's the name of the movie.
That last part of the sentence, yeah, not the whole sentence.
Okay, so yeah, I actually did just think of a title that might be a bit better.
Okay.
What if we call it Spaceman from Pluto?
Spaceman
terrible.
from Pluto?
Yeah. That is a real note that a Hollywood studio executive is giving. Let's call it Spaceman from Pluto instead of Back
Why?
to the Future.
Oh, I feel like God no.
Well, we'll see.
Okay, to be discussed, I guess.
No, I
So
don't
what
think
else
so.
happens?
Well, Doc
Makes no
and Marty
sense.
need to use this famous lightning strike on a clock tower to power the time machine back to the 80s.
Okay.
And before they do, Marty gives Doc a letter informing him that that he's gonna be shot in the future and he needs to protect himself.
Oh, smart.
But Doc is like, no, I cannot know any information about the future. The results could be disastrous. So he tears the letter up.
Oh, no.
But then Marty's like, oh, I have a time machine. I could just go warn him in the future.
Very clever.
Yep.
Very clever. So he gives himself 11 minutes.
Whoa, why would he give himself 11 minutes? Why not give himself a couple of hours or even days?
Well, he's
Good
gonna give
question.
himself 11 minutes because it's more exciting this way.
Fair enough. So is it going to be tough
Good
for Doc
job.
to survive?
Actually, it's going to be super easy.
Barely an inconvenience.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it turns out Doc taped the note back together, so he puts on a bulletproof vest.
Oh, well, thank God he did a complete 180 on his passionate speech about knowing about the future.
Yeah, really
just
worked
kinda figured
out.
what
So
the
then
hell.
Marty goes to
Probably
see his
8 out of
family, and they're
Yeah.
just completely different now.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, his dad's a super successful author. His brother has a great job. His sister has a good dating life.
George is
That
a
doesn't
rich
sound like
author and they
anybody's
still live in the same house. They do. The brother has a good office job and he still lives at home.
He does.
Well, okay.
Actually, that's
Oh, and
pretty
also
interesting.
Now
Yeah.
Biff gets hired by George to wax his car.
George hired the guy who tried to assault his wife?
He did. He's like, that Biff is such a character. He's always trying to get away with something.
Like
Wow.
assaulting his wife.
Yeah, quite
Way
the
to
character.
forgive.
And so now
Yeah,
Marty
no
gets
kidding.
to go on a date, and he has a nice car.
Now, wait, so his entire family have had a different life, but Marty still has the memories and experiences of the original timeline?
Yeah.
So what
I
happens
guess.
to the version of Marty that was living with the family on this new timeline that they were interacting with on a daily basis?
Yeah, don't worry about any of that.
Oh, no.
Great. So what do you
He's
think?
buried in the
Well, it
backyard.
sounds insane and inappropriate in several ways, but somehow I do think it'll be a classic.
Oh yeah, nobody's ever gonna dare to even think about remaking this thing.
No, don't you even.
Oh my God.
Why?
Why would... No, there really are?
There's no point.
Oh, man. I thought we were going to end this on a happy ending.
It never ends happily.
That's one of the things that I keep talking about all the time. Where is your creativity, Hollywood? It's like, quit trying to remake shit and make your own stuff.
It doesn't need to be remade. It was perfect as it was. It
Yeah.
was made in the 80s.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, you can add all kinds of effects digitally, but you don't need to. It was fine.
Exactly. There's nothing to do with that movie.
There's nothing you can add to that movie to make it better.
The only thing they're going to do is make it for modern audiences.
That's it. That's all they're going to do.
And it's going to be no good
Nope.
as a
It's-
result.
I guarantee it. I'm calling it now.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what, though, I wasn't expecting this.
No?
I wasn't expecting how dark it got there with Doc Brown. 'Cause
Oh.
It's like I never thought of him as the potentially being the bad guy here. But then again, he's working with terrorists and everything.
He's working with terrorists.
I never thought of it that way, though.
Well, we say he's working with terrorists. Really, he stole the plutonium from them, so they got nothing out of the deal.
Yeah, but how did he get in contact with these guys?
You know, that's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a good
So-
question. Well, you know, the one thing that I was thinking going into this, and he brought it up right away too, is how do the Doc and Marty know each other?
Yeah.
Like the Doc is old enough to be his grandfather.
Yeah, that's a good
Like,
question.
what's the connection there?
I don't know. I don't know how that happened.
And Marty doesn't seem particularly, techie, so I don't see why he would be drawn to the Doc at all.
Damn it. And now I'm going to be sitting here wondering this forever, too. Sometimes, even though you don't have anything in common with some people, you just happen to have a kindred spirit there. Sometimes.
I guess.
And that's kind of what they have been throughout the Back to the Future trilogy, is kind of a kindred spirit ship.
Yeah.
Just they're good for each other,
Kind of like Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what this is which is what's based off of this.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where, yeah, they shouldn't work together, but somehow they have enough interest to make it work.
Yeah. I mean, I love it though.
I'll say it's a fun movie.
Yeah, Back to the Future is fantastic.
Well, I mean, I say it's a fun movie. I mean, if you did it the right way, it could have been a very dark and grotesque movie. But
Well, I tell you what, they've been trying to normalize incest for some time, haven't they? Freaking Hollywood.
oh, they were really trying to.
Interesting.
God, they were trying.
They're trying to bring us back to the old Egyptian days, the old Roman days, where it's like, marry your sister.
Hey, it's okay to sleep with your mother. Nobody cared.
I don't know. But Lorraine ended up calling it out when she started trying to make out with him anyway and saying, kissing you is like kissing my brother.
Yeah. So you're not far off.
Nope. It should feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But then later on in time, it's like, you never recognized him again?
Right.
Hmm.
Like, huh, you look like somebody I knew when I was a teenager.
I know it was 50 years ago, but you see Biff every day. So
Right.
come on, should be a constant reminder of things that happen.
I don't know how she can stand to have Biff around knowing what he was about to do to her.
He might have apologized later on.
I guess. He
I
must.
think he might have gotten humbled from this. Well, then again, we saw that there was a sequel, and that was most certainly not the case. So,
No, he's still trying to take him down.
yeah, I don't know. That sequel was hilarious too.
But you made a good point too there at the end when you talk about that. That's not anybody's family. You have the two rich kids who are living there and they're doing just fine, but they're still living with their parents.
Yeah.
You know, that's actually a pretty good point. Like, if he's making all this money, he's a successful businessman, why is he not owning his own house and his own car somewhere else?
Yeah, they're not going to come over for breakfast. Come on.
Yeah.
Unless they're like just still poor and he just happens to be wearing Dad's old suit. I don't know.
Why is your daughter not living with her boyfriend?
Yeah, I have no clue. But I had no problem with the family that was before. That's just the way it is.
I mean,
You know,
it's a
everybody.
realistic family.
Yeah, and they all got along for the most part. They're still sitting at the table together eating, so
Except for the alcoholic mother, but
Yeah.
otherwise things were fine.
I don't know. For me, I kind of like George from the original timeline.
Mm-hmm.
His goofy laugh and everything they had.
Yeah.
It was a perfect pairing for that guy.
And that actor just plays that role really well, too.
Oh god, he was on it. Fam, we could keep going on. I don't think we're going to. By all means, get in there and help us out with this one. This was a fun pitch meeting, and now it makes me kind of want to go watch this movie again. But let us know in the comments if you want us to watch this on the channel, guys. Including the rest of the trilogy. Let us know, guys. I'd be down. Would you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so it'd be fun. I bet we could find people that haven't seen it before too. So, but as always, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bells, check us out on those things up top, like and subscribe again, and stay tuned for more, guys. But until next time, this is Cocktail Flicks. I'm Joe.
I'm Dan.
We'll catch you on the flip side. Cheers to you, fam. Cheers to you, Dan.
Cheers to you, Joe.
Later, you guys.